Hold your breath. Don't move till I tell you. We've got him cornered now. We'll wait for him to move away from the mouth of the valley, and then we'll drive him into the canyon. Why, that ornery devil. He warned them.
I'm beginning to think that stallion's got more horse sense than you.
I'll break that horse. You bet your life I've got horse sense.
Sure, I know you, but I bet you that critter has a streak of the devil in him.
He smelled us just as soon as the wind changed direction. Come on, get the horses. It's a long ride back to the house.
Sure.
Good morning, ma'am.
What do you all want here?
Don't be afraid. We're respectable folk.
If you want to water your horse, a stranger, go ahead. Help yourself to all you need and ride on.
We're not in such a hurry to be on our way.
What's the matter, honey? Don't you approve of us?
I don't know what's on your mind, but I advise you to get right back on the trail. Get on out of here. Don't let my husband catch you.
Now, ma'am, don't you worry. We'll be gone soon. There's a sheriff who's mighty fond of us. He's been on our heels for days like a stray pup. Now, you rustle up some food while we pick out 4 of your best horses. Ours can hardly stand up by now. We're mighty lucky to trade horses.
Our horses are not for trade or sale.
We didn't aim to buy them.
Don't make me lose my patience. Now, you go fix us some food.
In the house.
Keep your hands off those horses!
Saddle 4 horses.
Better not!
Here, you can take whatever we have.
No! No! Let go of me! Let go of me!
Get out of my house. I warn you.
Tell that man to leave my mother be. Do you hear me?
Get away, boy.
Tell him to leave my mother be. You make him stop.
Cut it out.
Papa! Papa! Papa!
We have visitors. Warn them not to come any closer.
Come here, Brad. Run for cover.
Watch out, Clark! Oh! Oh, no! No!
I'll kill him.
Don't go any closer, Clark! You'll be shot dead!
The boys. Oh.
No. No.
Get moving. Let's not waste any more time.
Maybe someday when you're grown-up men, you'll run across those thieves that murdered your father. If you do, all I ask is that they're punished for what they did. I'm not quite as old as you think, Chet.
I know, Mama. Watch out, Brad. You'll lose your hat on that Bronco.
Oh, yeah? What am I wearing?
Unless I'm mistaken, Hamilcar, and you can smell it too, that's a duck in the oven with spring onions on the side. Do your best now. Let's try to get there before only the bones are left for us. What's the matter, Hamilcar? Why are you balking? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Ah, I'd forgotten. Now I understand, amigo. I'd forgotten you don't like onions, but don't worry about that. I'll eat all the onions for you. Good morning.
Good morning. Why are you shaking your head?
Oh, no reason. No reason. May I ask you who does the cooking in that house?
My mother.
May I have the pleasure of making her acquaintance?
Sure. Go right in.
Thank you. Come on, Hamilcar. Let's go. Let's go. Get out in there. Get up there. Good morning, senor. Am I intruding? As I was passing by, my well-trained nose told me that you forgot to put any orange in that roast duck. Now, that's an unpardonable oversight, isn't it?
If you say so. And if you're hungry, never mind the compliments. Just help yourself.
The fact is that in judging food, I have no equal. May I taste it? Oh. It's delicious. A sauce of great subtlety, but it could be improved. If that's the standard of cooking in this house, Pedro Ramirez is at your service to do any kind of work that you want. Any work? Well, if it's not excessively laborious work. I'm a chef, you know. Have you got an apron? If it's all right with you, I can start now to help you. You've no objection if I give some feed to my horse.
Give him as much as you like.
Thank you.
When will you ever stop reading those useless books, Jeff?
Law books aren't useless, Mama.
Yes, they are. We only know one law. That's the law of survival.
Sooner or later, law and order will take its place.
That's how you read for the law here. What'll it get him? If we let him read law, the more he learns, the more he'll forget of what's value. I guess he'd like to swear out a warrant for Papa's murderers. But we know better. We know how things get done around here.
Chet, when you talk like that, you're no better than savages. No doubt about it. You can be certain that if I meet those murderers, I'll do exactly what you said.
But will they let you do it? Your brother and I'd like to do it legal, too. But we know too well these things just don't work that way.
It's up to us to see that they go the way they should.
It was savage the way they killed your father, Jeff. Don't forget that.
Yes, I know, Mama. But I'm not like them. I want to see justice done out of respect for my father's memory. And justice can be done in only one way.
Well, I'll be. Did you hear that? What you say may be true, but you'll have to prove it with facts if you want us with you.
I'll prove it to you.
Calm down, kid. Don't get excited.
Now behave, Chet.
Don't worry. He won't fight me. He only fights when he can use a gun. I don't have a gun. You know I can handle one better than you, don't you? If I want to. But I'm not a killer like the men we're looking for.
Mr. Brad, some rustlers got the herd that was grazing the other side of Ritter's Creek. Where's Charles? He's been shot dead. How many were there? From their tracks, I reckon 6 or 7.
Tell the boys to saddle their horses, quick.
Saddle your horses!
Jenny, Jeff, rustlers are making off with our cattle. Come on.
There they are. Don't ride any closer. They might see us.
You circle them to the right and block their way from behind. Jeff will go to the left.
Ah, then we don't have to worry. The lawyer of the range will take them as clients.
Cut it out, Chet. Leave them alone. Take your position. Hurry.
Come on.
You know what you have to do. Head them off if they make a run for the pass. You take Gus and Forbes. Get moving. You come with me.
The horses here. You two up there.
Get me a horse. Why did you let him get away? I'll go bring him back. Hurry up there.
Did they wing you?
Nothing serious. Just a scratch.
A good roundup. Chet won't let any stray get away from him.
Anybody hurt?
No one but you, boss. You better take care of that.
Let me have a look. It's all right. You're lucky it missed the bone.
Hey, boss, take a look.
Was that necessary?
We have to teach him a lesson.
But not like that.
Why not? Keep your thoughts to yourself.
I won't take part in a lynching, and I won't let you do it either.
I'll tell you what to do, and that's what has to be done and nothing else.
Not if it's against my conscience. We've already committed murder. We didn't give those poor devils a chance to defend themselves.
They didn't deserve one. No one forced them into crime.
Brought him back alive. That should...
That's enough, Chet.
Why? Have you any objection?
This is no way to treat a human being.
Is that a fact? What else do your books say? That we should thank him for trying to rob us of our livelihood?
Will you two stop arguing? From now on, he won't have the chance to rob.
You hear that? They'll keep you busy where you're going.
Stop it, you hear me? Stop it! If one of you starts this again, I'll split your head open, understand? Understand? Get on your horse, you, and go back to the ranch. Go on.
Yes.
Don't pick on him anymore, Chet.
He started the whole thing.
To show my gratitude for your hospitality, I've taken the liberty of making a special cake with my own hands, but just a little one so you can taste it.
Thank you. Delicious, but you've made too much, Pedro. How can we eat all that?
Why, this is for me. This is for Hamilcar. This is for Hamilcar. This is for Hamilcar. Why give Hamilcar anything? He's only a horse anyway. It's all for me.
Coming into town, Brad?
Sure. You coming too, Jeff?
No, I'll see you later.
Pleasant dreams, Ma.
Run along, boys. Have a good time. What's come between you all?
Nothing. Maybe I'm the one who's mistaken. I just don't understand their views.
What is it you can't understand? Can you tell me?
It's their hatred for everybody. That impulse to kill. I can see it in their eyes sometimes.
You don't remember seeing your father killed, but your brothers have never forgotten it.
I haven't forgotten. There are some things one never forgets.
What's wrong, then?
Vengeance is not justice. It's a crime. You deserve all our sympathy for what you suffered at the hands of those criminals, Ma. But we have no right to kill in cold blood.
It's not a question of cold-blooded killing, son. It's a question of making them pay for what they did to us. It's likely after all these years those men are dead. But I pray that isn't so. Because I've been longing all these years for the day they turn up in your path. And you all see that they pay with their lives for causing us such sorrow and affliction. Then I can die in peace and face my dear ones.
I only want to see those men dangling from a rope after being convicted by a jury on the evidence you give at their trial.
You mean trust a jury?
How many times have I said that they should hang for it? Your evidence would be enough for a conviction. And the day that happens, we'll have had our revenge. But only then. I know how you feel, Ma, and what you've had to suffer. I wish you could see it differently. One of these days, we'll find them. But after you've had your revenge, you still won't be happy. Try to forget. Let me carry the burden for you now.
I wish I could give my burden to you, Jeff. But this sorrow's a load I'll have to carry to my grave. Now, you run along, Jeff, honey. Go and join your brothers. The boys will be expecting you to find them.
All right, Ma, but there's something I wanted to tell you first. That's why I told Brad to go on ahead.
What's wrong now? I got a feeling you're hiding something.
Nothing serious. It's just that for some time now, Chet and I don't get along.
Chet doesn't mean any harm to you.
I've decided to go away.
Good gracious. But where will you go, son?
Don't get excited. It's one of my crazy ideas. I want to be a U.S. Marshal. That is, if they'll take me, of course.
I'm going to miss you, you know, Jeff.
And I'll miss you, too. I'll make it my business to arrest criminals like the ones who made you unhappy. Having a marshal for a son is no reason for you to be so sad.
That youngster's a fine boy, Senora. Pity the others don't think the way he does.
I thought you were asleep.
Why, I was. But if you ask me, he knows what's good. You shouldn't have encouraged your older sons to hate so much.
Me? I taught them how to fend for themselves. That's the only way to survive in the country we live in.
I'm sorry, Senora, but you ought to know that hatred only breeds trouble.
You're in no position to preach because you haven't gone through our experience or seen your world and all your hopes blasted to pieces. Felt your body die and go on living, lost the only soul who meant anything and everything. Am I the same as you are?
I know you feel robbed of happiness. In this country, everybody's world has crumbled, as you say. I'm no exception to the rule, but for many years I've tried to forget it. I don't have to share your sorrows, and if I've offended you, then I'm sorry, but I had to say it to you. I, too, had a family once. But circumstances also robbed me of it. Please understand, Senor, I don't want to see it happen again.
To me, it won't. I'm sure of it.
I trust to God. Wherever I went, I always seemed to find trouble. But one day I decided to be known as the fastest skeleton in the West. Buenas noches, Senora. You get some rest now.
Why, you card-chopping cheater.
Hold it, Chet. He played fair.
You stay out of this or I'll get the idea you're both cheating.
I swear, Chet, it was on the level and above board.
Is that your way of making me out a liar?
No, I didn't mean that.
Then you're gonna confess that you're a cheater in public. Say it. Say it loud enough for everyone to hear it. I'm a dirty cheat.
I swear I didn't, Chet. You know I never cheat.
Defend yourself, Horn. No one's gonna call me a liar.
Go on, blow my head off and get it over with, Chet. If you claim self-defense, you're a liar. If you'd rather beat me up, go ahead and do it. You're bigger than I am. If you do, all that'll show is you're nothing but a coward. Stop it. Pick on your own size. He's not big enough to touch you. Come on, let's see you take on me for a dust-up. I can whip a coward your size.
Anyone else here want to label me a coward?
Chet just shot and killed a man.
Oh, my heavens, how terrible. Did you arrest him?
No one's about to interfere in certain situations, you know, and I least of all. But tonight the situation got out of control. Your father will have to put Chet in jail and see he's severely punished. I'm sorry, May, if the job of sheriff has these little inconveniences.
Was Brad in on it?
No.
Well, then, as soon as my father comes home, I'll tell him. He said he'd be early this evening.
Good evening, May.
Good evening.
Let's hope we've seen the end of cattle stealing in these parts after the lesson you gave those rustlers. Good for you.
I hope no one else is aiming to rob us. If I catch another one, I'll string him up.
See you later. I'm leaving early in the morning.
Hold on, sit down. Are you determined to go?
Yes, I am.
On account of the quarrel with Chet?
We can't get along. I'd rather leave while the going's good.
That makes sense. What are you planning to do?
Something I've thought of a long time. I want to be a U.S. Marshal. What's so funny?
You took me by surprise. Don't get me wrong. Here's to it.
All alone, honey?
Get away. Brad, may I speak to you?
What are you doing here, May?
Your brother, Chet, has just killed a man. Everyone says it's a plain case of murder. I know my father's going to arrest him even if he is your brother.
Don't worry. Where's Chet?
He must still be in the saloon.
We'll walk you home. It's on the way. Leave this to us. Come on, Jeff.
Roberts was spoiling for a fight. He asked for it, I tell you. Don't stare at me like that. You think I didn't give him a chance to draw. If anyone else thinks I didn't give him a chance to draw, say so. I shot him in self-defense.
This man's dead.
Brad. He threatened to kill me, and he called me a coward.
It's Roberts.
What of it?
You might have used your fists if you had to defend yourself.
Are you calling me a coward?
Break it up.
What's come over you, Brad? Lately, it seems you've been siding with this bookworm against me.
Get moving. You have to clear out.
Why'd I have to clear out?
You do because I say so. Right now, you're in no condition to argue with me.
Later. Now, come on.
Brad is right, Chet. You'll have to go away.
There's no reason for me to run.
Get it through your head. You're a marked man, wanted for murder. You, we all know what happened. But since you're my brother, I can't let you hang. Any moment now, we'll face the sheriff and a posse of deputies. Yeah, all the folks who've begun to get enough of your ways.
The sheriff and his deputies don't scare me. I wonder why you've changed. We ought to be laying for him right now with a load of buckshot.
They're only doing their duty. Have you forgotten that you've killed a man?
Be still, Jeff. There's no need for you to remind us of that again. Chet, will you please do it for my sake? I couldn't stand it if anything should happen to you to add to all our tragedies. I'd always feel responsible for whatever they do to you now.
No, Mother. Don't say that.
I must confess that my sorrow kept me from bringing you up the way I should have done. I'm afraid I didn't teach you right, and now I suffer for it. If only there was some way to make it up to you. Hurry, Chet. You mustn't lose any more time. Take whatever you need.
All right, Ma. So long, Ma.
Take care of yourself, son.
Don't you worry about me. I'll be back soon, Brad. So long, Pedro. I'll be seeing you, bookworm.
Best of everything to the bride. Walk like a caballero. Oh, there, you bow-legged little monkey.
You be careful with that little one, Pedro.
What's the matter? You're afraid I'll let this little pig wiggle out of my hands? Show him, Piglet, you're not afraid.
Hey, you, I need a fresh horse. Did you hear what I said?
You'd better ride on, stranger, before I fill you full of lead.
Don't shoot him.
Give me a horse and some food, or I swear you'll never forget me. Now hurry!
Hey, stranger. Looking for someone?
The sheriff.
I'll take it you haven't been to the cemetery.
Don't make me waste my time, friend. Where's the sheriff?
At the end of the street. They just buried him.
What happened to him?
Last night, a gunman got liquored up on tequila.
Has he been arrested?
Who's supposed to do it, seeing how the sheriff is dead?
And his deputies?
You sure you weren't heading for another town and took the wrong road, stranger? There's a rodeo here today, and folks are in town from both sides of the border. It's wide open. Sharpshooters and gunslinging types. That's what's the matter with them. They're all trigger-happy.
I reckon this trigger-happy killer is first rate.
Never saw a faster gun. We're all betting he walks off with first prize in the shooting match.
Well, I thank you for the information, friend. Morning.
Morning.
I'd like a room.
I'm sorry, sir, but we're all full up.
Who's the owner of this hotel?
It's Mr. Westfall. The whole town belongs to Mr. Westfall.
Could I speak with him?
It's not easy to speak to him these days. He's busy organizing a rodeo. He does it every year. But you can talk to his daughter. That's her over there.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Good morning, Miss Westfall.
Good morning.
I'm Jeff Walker. I was told I could get a room here. I reckon you'll have to find a place for me somewhere. I'm U.S. Marshal for this district.
In that case, Mr. Walker, I'll make sure you're given any room you like. If there's one thing that we need here, it's surely a U.S. Marshal. Did you hear about the murder of the sheriff?
Yes,
Will you appoint a new one?
maybe.
What is it, Pedro?
Do me a favor. Let me leave Hamilcar here. He's too old to travel.
Don't worry about Hamilcar. We'll take care of him.
In 3 days, I'll be in the border town. Back home. On my side. On the Mexican side of town. You know what I'll do? The first day, I'll visit the bars.
And then what?
I'll walk through the streets where I used to play when I was just a youngster. After that, the rodeo. Ever see one?
Have a good time, Pedro.
That's a promise. See you. Senora, may I say thank you?
What for?
Taking me in, thanks to you, I found a new home. I respect you and I admire you. Permit a liberty. Once again, thank you, Senora.
Come home soon, Pedro.
The rodeo's back in town, everybody's moving around. Gunmen, ranchers, cowboy clowns. This time of the year, cowboys drown their fears, looking tough and showing off their skill. They carry guns and try to use them well, but they don't know when I'm with guns, I'm a king of them all. This time of the year, cowboys drown their fears, gunmen, ranchers, cowboy clowns.
Hey, what are you peddling?
This time of the year, cowboys drown
Suarez,
their
the
fears.
mosquito.
Ha ha! Did you hear that?
Like you.
Who, me? Hey, Fatso, you afraid to starve or something? You're packing everything but the kitchen sink.
But they don't know when I'm with guns, I'm king of them all. This time of the year, cowboys drown their fears, looking tough and showing off their skills.
For the next contest, our good friend Mr. Westfall, organizer of this rodeo and president of the jury, is offering as a prize the sum of $50 for the bronco rider who can stay in the saddle for the longest time.
What did he say the prize is?
First prize is $50.
Fine.
fella never misses. Even Chet couldn't beat him.
Who's Chet?
He's one of my brothers.
Where is he now?
I've no idea.
Did you have a special reason for coming here?
I'm looking for a man, and I've been told he may be living in these parts.
Oh? What's his name?
I don't know his name, but I'll recognize him, that's sure.
Well, that's no way to find anyone.
You never know. That's why I wanted to talk to the former sheriff. He was an outlaw once. He was the leader of a band of killers when I knew him.
Oh, Papa, I want you to meet a guest of ours, Mr. Jeff Walker.
Glad to know you, Mr. Walker. Have you seen the riding? Mighty fine show, isn't it? Judge Glenn, this gentleman is Mr. Walker.
Excuse me. I'm pleased to meet you, Judge Glenn. In fact, you're just the person I wanted to see. I've traveled 6 days to find you.
Well, here I am, young man. Time means nothing to me.
I would have thought this town was a pretty busy place for a judge.
My dear sir, if you're suggesting that we live in a hotbed of gunmen and bandits and similar scourges of the human race, can't say I disagree with you.
Well, why aren't they brought to trial?
Because someone has to arrest them first, my boy. And the ones who tried it so far...
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. To the winner of the next shooting match, Mr. Westfall is offering an additional prize of $100 and the fattest pig ever raised on his ranch.
He didn't say a fat pig.
He did, too.
Where your guns?
I'll just borrow these off you. Get out of the ring, you all, unless you want to be my target.
If you don't mind, we'll continue this conversation later. From now on, you can function as judge.
Delighted, my boy. I look forward to our conversation. It's a long time since I was offered the pleasure of a civilized symposium.
If they told me, I wouldn't have believed it. What are you doing here?
I represent the law.
Well, I'd like to talk to you, but I won't have enough time. Because you're not going to live that long, Jeff.
How's my mother?
Your mother couldn't be better. When can I meet you?
Why not meet in my office? Ask any outlaw in town where it is, if you're not afraid to come in.
I'll be there.
See you later.
Now, what the hell's eating you?
I reckon you're Merrill, deputy sheriff.
Sure thing.
Why are you sitting with your feet up while the man who murdered your boss is out walking the streets?
That's my business and none of yours, stranger.
My name is Jeff Walker, U.S. Marshal.
Mister, you come as a surprise. Sorry you didn't get here soon enough to go to the sheriff's funeral. But don't think you're going to go to mine. If it's going to cost me this badge to keep out of trouble, then, Marshal, you know what you can do with it.
I accept your resignation, Merrill. It takes a man to fill this office, not an irresponsible dummy.
At a salary that doesn't take in your burial costs?
You can warn everybody. As of tomorrow, anyone who breaks the law will be arrested, and he'll be tried and sentenced. From now on, the law's going to be respected. Now get out.
Come on, Hog. Pick up your feet. Get moving. They're good. Take it up. Flatten you up. Now, come on. Come on. Don't become any more fat. Walk like a nice pig. Turn round and I'll give you some nice swell. Come on. Go on, you stupid pig. Pick up your little trotters. Not that way. Over there. Come on. Don't be so stubborn. Get up. Get up. Oh, what's the matter with you? What do you think you are? A bull in a corrida? Inside your tub full of lard? Come on.
What do you think you're doing?
I'll finish him off. My word of honor. He's worn me out. Look here, you mud-wallowing glutton, you. I could have ground you into sausage. I didn't feel like it. But I swear, once I get you in the kitchen here... Is there a kitchen here?
Yes.
Well, once I get you in the kitchen, as I was saying, I'm going to skin you alive.
No one's allowed in the kitchen but the sheriff and his deputy.
Never mind. From now on, I'm one of your deputies. And you can swear him in, too.
I'll take you both.
You're the sheriff, and I'm deputy sheriff. And we're hogs, marked for slaughter. You're a target outside that door. The target for a citywide shooting match, day and night. I bet you think you're going to be the first prize, don't you now? Get on your feet, you lazy hog.
Let's drink to your health, my boy, while we have time. I reckon they're fighting among themselves for the privilege of depriving you of it.
It's not going to be as easy as they think.
In my humble opinion, you haven't the faintest idea, Marshal, where your unlucky stars have brought you.
You're wrong. I requested the job, and I need your help, Judge.
You can count on it, son, but I don't think it'll be much use to you.
How long will it take to impanel a jury?
Oh, depends on what kind.
The kind that's not afraid to enforce the law.
Everyone round here is afraid of enforcing the law against an outlaw. These people know their lives aren't worth more than a revolver shot. But we can still examine the case. Who's supposed to go on trial, son?
The gunman who murdered the sheriff.
You mean Palmer? Are you crazy? Has anyone the gumption and the grit to put that man in the calaboose?
I'll do it.
Let me watch you. I wouldn't miss that party for anything. You must have seen him shooting at the rodeo.
I did.
He's mighty fast.
A man who is fast with a gun has to pay for a crime.
Oh, you're a man who's hard to convince. But you'd better mind what I'm telling you.
Let's get one thing straight, Judge. If I'm killed, someone will take my place. Sooner or later, we'll prove that the law gives decent folk full protection and doesn't leave them at the mercy of outlaws who are fast with a gun.
Just calm down, son. If you get this hombre in jail, I swear I'll find you a blue ribbon jury. And for once, it won't cost me a thing either.
Thanks. I'll hold you to your word.
Where are you going?
To arrest that man.
I'm coming with you.
You're going to be around these parts long, stranger? He's always getting fresh.
Do you know a man named Palmer? I ask you if you know a man named Palmer.
Am I the one you want?
Yes.
What makes you interested, stranger?
I'm putting you under arrest for the murder of Sheriff Anderson.
Am I getting drunk, or did he say what I heard?
You heard me plain enough. You're coming with me.
I'm staying here.
Then I'll have to take you by force.
I advise you to leave me be. My patience has a certain limit. You give yourself too much importance. Now get out.
You shouldn't let me go, Palmer. I called you a murderer. And I'll add that you're a yellow coward.
You're asking to have your head busted open.
They carry guns and try to use
Not now.
but they don't know when I'm king of them all. Cowboys run the fears, looking tough and showing off their skills.
Look who's here. I'll borrow this of you. Hey, I warn you, the Marshal is not alone. I'll shoot the first coward who tries to make a move. Come on, Palmer.
You'll have to kill me first.
I don't want to kill you. A court will punish you for the crimes you've done. You're gonna hang by a rope. You'll never get another chance to shoot anyone. Now get moving!
Sheriff, you sure are quick on the draw. I'm not in your class, of course, but I'm pretty quick myself. So why don't you make me your deputy?
I'd like to give you a hand too, Sheriff. What this town needs is a good cleanup. You can count on me.
All right. It looks like I'll need some help. Pedro, look after these men.
Why don't you stay in school till you're grown up enough to shave? I reckon there's nothing to teach you. I'm not very far from shaking in my boots for fear of you two. No doubt about it, you're pretty quick, aren't you? So why don't you take advantage of how quick you are and light out as fast as you can before I lose my temper and swat you? Go on, go on! What's this? The first thing you learn is to obey orders. Now do what I tell you. Make tracks. Make tracks. I'll teach you. Go on. Take to your heels.
You say you are sure they're the men we've been looking for?
Sure as shooting. I knew Richards at the time he murdered your father. I've heard him tell the story about your family, Walker.
And where can I locate them?
One of them's living in Pima Creek. That's a town on the Mexican border. The other one, Richards, lives alone at the head of the pass.
Richards! 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 You hear what I say? You remember a rancher named Clark Walker you killed? I'm one of his 3 sons, and it's taken me 20 years to find you. Now you'll get what's been coming to you all these years, you rat.
Show your face if you have the guts. You'll see you got the wrong man.
I don't have to stand in front of you to recognize you. Information is what I'm after. Try to strain your memory, Richards. You were hiding behind a wagon when my father was shot. Isn't that right? Stand where you are. I haven't finished. I got a score to settle with you of my own. I've been waiting 20 years to get even with you. You clouded me when I was a boy, remember that? That's another thing I've never forgotten. I want to know who your partner was and where he lived. I want to see him crawling. You've had your last chance to tell me. I'm going to kill you right now.
Whip him up! Whip him up!
No more rope, boss.
Hang! Hang!
Mama.
Chet! Chet! You've come back to us. Oh, it's a joy to see you at home again, Chet. Brad! You look worn out and thin as a rail. It's a long time since we had any news of you. I've been worried.
I was all right. Kept on the move. Hello, Brad.
Hello, Chet. You remember May. We married after you left.
I'm glad. Congratulations. Well, I reckon you must be a rich rancher now. A fine house, a fine wife, and a ranch.
It's your ranch, too, Chet.
Take my part. It's yours. I've got something more important to do.
Let's go inside. I'll fix you something to eat right away. And you can tell me everything.
What's the matter? You act like you're sorry to see your brother come home again. He's changed for the better, I think.
I don't think so, May. He's the same as ever.
You haven't asked me yet why I came home.
I reckon it's not my concern.
Well, you're wrong. I know one of the killers, and it's sure Brad.
Where is he?
I know where he is, but I don't know as I ought to destroy you folks' heavenly peace and prosperity.
Shame on you, Chet.
If you've come here to cause trouble...
Brad, don't get riled. If you're willing to come along, I'll take you to the one man we always wanted to get our hands on.
There were 2 of them.
One has been accounted for.
Well, it's bedtime.
We have a long day's ride ahead of us. Better turn in.
I'll make your bed.
Are you going too?
Yes,
And if I were to ask you not to?
I'm going.
Why do you want to risk everything we have in the world?
Don't insist. It's no use. A man has his duty to himself.
Can't I claim the obligation you owe your family as your first duty? What if this man you're hunting should kill you? You owe it to your own son to forget your father.
Try to understand. We've never had a crossword, so let's not begin now. There are things that a man can never forget. Anyone who's suffered what we've suffered would understand what I mean. Peace of mind is the only thing I'm looking for. I've always felt ashamed of living here at home peacefully, while my two brothers were out trying to see that justice is done to those criminals.
The prisoner will rise. The jury finds the prisoner guilty of murder as charged. In the first degree. This court sentences you to hang by the neck until dead, and may the Lord above have mercy on your soul. I hope this will serve as an example, once and for all, to certain other undesirable individuals who frequent the streets of this town all too freely. The execution is to be carried out these pesky cigars at the expiration of 48 hours' time. Court's adjourned.
Remove the prisoner.
Wouldn't you feel safer if I had the gun?
What's wrong with you? Don't you realize this criminal is a killer?
That's what I mean.
I'll go on with you.
I'm afraid, Jeff. I'm afraid something terrible will happen to you.
Don't worry, Susan. This sentence will be a warning to the others.
I'm sure that Palmer's friends will try to save him from hanging.
Anyone who tries to use force will hang with him. There's plenty of rope for all. The important thing is that decent folks defend their rights.
You've encouraged them with your attitude toward Palmer. Now they know they have someone who'll really stand up for their rights. They have confidence in you.
I hope so. I have to leave you now, Susan. I'll take a look around.
See you later, Jeff.
I'll make it soon.
Look here, Sheriff, or whatever you are. We'd like a word with you.
I hear you. What have you got to say?
There's a lot of us here who don't go along with the sentence of the court. Palmer never murdered anyone. He killed his man in self-defense, that's all. He hadn't any choice.
That's not the question. His victim represented the law.
If that's the case, he won't be the only one to die.
If you're threatening me, I'll arrest you on the spot.
Come in and eat, Marshal. Otherwise your beans will get cold.
You'll hear from us later. Come on, boys.
Whenever you like.
Mr. Walker, Rock's just been killed in the saloon.
Who did it?
Some friend of Palmer's.
I'm coming.
Don't go, Jeff. It's a trap. I know it.
If it is, they'll be sorry. Take him out, Charlie.
But I don't...
Do what I say. You, help him. Did you see it?
No, sir, I didn't see a thing. I was serving a customer when it happened.
Don't you want to know who killed him?
One of you.
What do you aim to do about it?
Nothing at the moment. Which one of you was it?
Who wants to know?
One of you shot that poor kid. Who was it?
It makes no difference who it was. The three of us are not going to let you out of here alive unless you give the order to release Palmer.
If you value your boss's life, you'll do nothing to me. At this very moment, my deputy has a gun aimed at his head. And at that range, he can't miss. I told him to pull the trigger if he hears a shot fired from here. You still going to shoot? Did you think I was stupid enough to fall for this? Now listen to me. I'll give you till tomorrow for whoever it was to speak up. I'll be in front of the sheriff's office at 12 o'clock. If he gets me, you can free the prisoner. If I win the draw, he's going to have company.
Hey, young fellow, help us.
What can I do for you?
Where can a stranger wet his whistle around here?
Keep straight ahead. But I advise you fellas to wait, because any minute now, all hell's gonna break loose.
That's better than dying of thirst. Let's go. What's the commotion?
The sheriff arrested a man, and 3 other men want to get him out of jail.
They pull in the sidewalks for that?
All I know is the sheriff said they'd have to come gunning for him.
Who's this crazy sheriff?
He's a U.S. Marshal. His name's Jeff Walker.
Looks like we're just in time for the party. If it isn't Brother Bookworm, who'd have thought he'd be up to this business?
The clock's striking noon.
I know.
They're coming now.
Look here, you know, to me it doesn't matter. But if you go alone, you're a fool.
Pedro's right. Let us come too, Mr. Walker.
Listen, Marshal. When something looks wrong to Pedro Ramirez, he can be as stubborn as you. The fastest gun in the world couldn't do it. They're bound to get at least one bullet through you, since they're 3 and all shooting at you. The odds are against you.
I know, but I have to take them.
Ironhead, why won't you set the odds right? Take me, too.
If I'm killed, Pedro, they'll try to free the prisoner. Then you're the sheriff. It's your job to see that they don't get him.
I know it's not done, but I can pick one off.
Hold on, Jeff.
I don't believe it. But that's just who they are.
Who are they, Pedro?
Who else but his brothers?
How's everything?
I'm mighty glad to see you all. Last thing I expected.
Need some help with your homework?
You said it. Chet, I'm warning you, you're on the side of the law.
Just for this once.
I'll take the one opposite me.
take the one on the right, Sheriff.
Don't draw yet. They're too far.
Is that what your school book says? Is that the first man you've killed?
Take him over to the cemetery.
Well, it's a Walker family reunion. You boys didn't do so bad after all. Jeff, why don't you go and get yourself a drink? It'll do you good. I'll go help the kid. I never like to see young'uns playing in the cemetery.
Let's go find this drink, if the law has no objections.
When did you come?
Just before the party. The kid told us all about it.
How's Ma?
She's fine. And how are you doing? We never thought we'd find you here.
They killed the sheriff before I got to town. He was on the trail of the man who murdered our father.
The fact is, that man lives right here.
Sure does. Chet knows how to identify him.
Do you know his name?
Westfall.
Westfall? That's not possible.
Now he's going to be torn with doubt, same as usual.
Do you know him?
Yes.
Well, tell us where he is then. And let's fix him fast. This town makes me nervous.
You're not going to fix him. I'll arrest him and let the law take its course.
What law are you talking about?
The law you'll obey as long as I'm around. That man will be given a fair trial. He might be innocent.
Don't waste my time arguing.
You're
Tell me
not
where
going
he
to
is.
do anything.
I agree with Jeff. Let the law take its course and be fair. As for watching while they hang him and let him strangle, I can miss that.
Don't think I'm quitting this filthy town until that man's dead one way or another. Come on, Brad. Let Brother Bookworm perform his duty.
I want to have a look at him. I'll come to the jail when you put him under arrest. I'll know him all right. If he's the killer, there's no possibility of my mistaking him.
Who are those men, Jeff? Why did they help you?
They're my brothers.
Thank the Lord they got here in time to help you. I was afraid you were going to be killed.
Susan, I'd like to speak to you alone. Where's your father?
He rode out to the Trevor Ranch. I don't think he'll be gone long. Is anything wrong, Jeff? You look worried about something.
Come on, let's get away from here.
Just leave the bottle here. It'll save you running back and forth.
I see all the excitement has made you thirsty.
Who says I was excited?
If it hadn't been for you two, we'd be looking around for another sheriff.
Maybe you'd have got a better one. Say, do you know where I can find a friend of mine named Westfall? Now, look, friend, you can tell me. Don't worry. We're both old buddies of Mr. Westfall's. We just want to see him and say hello.
That's easy enough to do, sir. Mr. Westfall owns a hotel in this town. Why didn't you ask the new sheriff who's been stepping out with his daughter?
Oh, Lord, it's just not possible. How could my father have ever done such a thing?
One thing's sure, Susan. I promise to leave it to the law to decide if your father is guilty or not.
Does he have to be arrested?
It's my duty. He's been accused of murder. But I want you to understand this, Susan. I'd arrest him all the same if the victim hadn't been my father.
I understand.
I knew you would. I have only a vague recollection of what happened. As we grew older, we all reacted differently. Brad's more sensible, but Chet has nursed a hatred he'll never get over.
He's not like you.
You see, he thinks only of killing. He thinks that's the only system. I believe in the law. And the law must protect people until they're proved guilty. I swore to serve the law, and I will, but in this case, it breaks my heart to do it. I wanted you to understand me, Susan, because that's the only way you can forgive me.
I forgive you, Jeff. I forgive you.
Hello, Jeff.
Mr. Westfall, I declare you under arrest.
Who, me? Is this some game of yours?
You're accused of the murder of a man named Walker.
This is a damned outrage.
I warn you. What you say may be used in evidence. That's up to the judge to decide. I'm just putting you in jail. Now come with me.
Is that for his own protection, brother?
Take it any way you want.
I sure recognize his face. Murdering rattlesnake. I'd have recognized you in a million.
Cut it out, Chet. Let's go. Go find the judge. Tell him to come to my office. It's urgent.
Anything else, Jeff?
Tell him to round up a jury and swear him in.
Your father's not the kind who commits cold-blooded murder.
I can't believe it any more than you, Judge. But still, if Jeff has arrested him, he must have good evidence.
And you say these two brothers of his came here hunting your father?
That's why Jeff came to this district in the first place. He told me that the dead sheriff had promised to tell him the whole truth.
I'll go talk to Jeff. We'll see what proof he has. Undoubtedly, there's a judicial error. Come right in.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I've been expecting you. Please sit down.
Susan went back to the hotel. She came to me first of all. I knew right away you'd want me to impanel a jury to try Westfall. So here's your jury.
Fine. This way you've saved me a lot of explanations.
We're real glad you came here, Jeff. In the few days you've been in town, you've won yourself all of our confidence. So, we're all sure you'll understand the observations I feel bound to make before I declare this trial open.
Well, what's the matter? Have I made a mistake?
Mr. Walker, we've been thinking about this.
Have you?
Yes, sir. The matter needs careful consideration. What do you propose to do?
I'm going to hold Westfall in jail till court convenes to try him.
I'm sorry, but we just don't think he could have done it.
Why couldn't he have done it? Some man murdered my father.
Tell him, Judge Glenn. You're well acquainted with the law. And we all want to be law-abiding. But it seems to me we're mixing up the law with a personal grudge.
For 2 cents, I'd wring your neck.
Calm down. We know how you feel. We all sympathize with your situation. Grayson wasn't aiming to offend you, but the subject's a mighty touchy one.
Make yourself clear, Judge.
The crime you're imputing to Westfall was committed nearly 20 years ago in another county. Aside from that, you haven't the slightest proof to substantiate the charge.
There are witnesses.
The eyewitnesses were mere children. If Westfall denies it, no jury can convict on their...
Who says they can't convict him? Why should my brothers and I accuse him if he's innocent? Would you prefer us to lynch him? One murder to avenge another?
Please look at it more calmly, Mr. Walker. We've said we sympathize with you, and we appreciate your point of view. But you're not empowered to jail a man on suspicion without evidence.
If I let him out of jail, my brothers would kill him.
You'll have to prevent him. You're here to maintain law and order.
Let me tell you something, Grayson. Nobody's going to get Westfall out, legally or illegally. And anyone who wants to try will have to eliminate me. If your jurisdiction doesn't cover him, I'll remove him. I'll take him to another court. He's going to be hanged after a fair trial. I won't need you.
Are you 100% sure that Westfall's the man you're looking for?
Chet recognized him. His accomplice told his name and where he was living. That's why my brothers came here.
And where is this accomplice now?
Dead. Chet killed him. Well, Pedro, what do you think about it?
You know what I'm thinking? That with all the godforsaken towns there are in the world, I had to be born in this one.
Are you ready to make a full confession, Westfall?
You must be out of your mind. I've nothing to confess to you.
A woman with 3 small children. Remember, Westfall? 4 tramps rode by. 4 dirty, lousy bandits.
I've nothing to tell you.
You were one of them. Chet recognized you.
If you're aiming to kill me, do it. But don't bank on getting away with it because there's not a chance.
Are you sure? I could kill you myself and still act within my rights, but I won't do it because I have my principles.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Brad. I want a word with this young lady. You know who we are, don't you?
Yes.
Well, that's good. I can talk plainly. I don't care what understanding you have with my brother. That's of no importance. But if you try to influence the kid into saving your father, you're going to hear from me.
You don't have to worry about that. I hate your brother the same as I hate you, you hear?
Well, better for us. So long.
The girl hasn't harmed anyone.
She has cause to hate like our mother.
Let's go talk to Jeff. Howdy, Jeff. We were on our way to talk to you. There's not going to be a trial, I've heard.
For the moment, I think not.
We're not here to stand around with our arms folded.
That I know.
And Westfall? Where's he?
In jail. But don't try anything.
I told you so, Brad.
Shut up. Hand that man over to us.
I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Have you forgotten?
No. I haven't forgotten anything. But things are going to be done my way.
Then show us some action.
Guess you're against me.
If we're against you, brother, I reckon it's all your own fault.
Is that what you think, Brad?
Westfall is going to be punished, I'm telling you. Is my answer plain enough?
Only after he's been tried. That's my answer.
You might as well not waste your breath. Jeff's only thinking of the daughter of that murderer.
I warn you, Chet. Don't force me to do something I don't want to. Get out. Take him away, Brad. Before something regrettable happens here.
It's bound to happen the moment you try to defend that man.
You've improved, brother. I'll keep it in mind. But if in 1 hour you don't hand us Westfall, I'm coming to take him from you by force. Think it over, brother.
I'm bound to confess I feel a great compassion for that young fella.
If Jeff hadn't fallen in love with Susan, I tell you Westfall would be dead by now.
You're wrong, Grayson. The girl has no influence whatsoever over Walker. Anyway, that's their problem, and they're going to have to solve it some way.
Whatever happens to her father, he's still innocent.
I'm not 100% convinced of the innocence of Westfall. Jeff has a good case. Why are his brothers ganging up on him if Westfall isn't guilty?
They could be mistaken.
In this case, there's no other evidence beside their testimony. But I'm quite sure that even small children, after such a tragedy, don't easily forget the face of the person who made the poor things orphans.
Evening, Susan. I was coming to see you.
What do you want, Merrill?
I know these are difficult times for you. And I just wanted to say if there's anything I can do.
Thank you, Merrill. I can't think of a thing you could do to help me, but it's very kind of you anyway.
I'm more than friendly. I wish you'd give me time to tell you how I feel about you.
Please, Merrill, you couldn't have chosen a worse time.
That's where you're wrong, Susan. What better time than this to try to do something for you, to win your affection?
Thanks again. But there's really nothing at all you can do.
Yes, there is. If you give me some hope, I'll help your father get away.
My father hasn't the slightest reason to run away. I know he's innocent.
You don't have to pretend like this. Come on, relax. With me, you can talk confidentially.
What on earth are you saying to me?
Nothing. Nothing of any importance, Susan.
Oh, yes, it is. And I want to know what it is, Merrill. I want you to tell me all you know.
Oh, I really don't know such a lot. Only that since a long time ago, Sheriff Anderson was investigating your father's past for some reason. And just when some pretty unpleasant things your father had done were about to be brought to light, Palmer shot him.
Are you insinuating that my father would have fired that outlaw to commit a murder, are you?
No, I didn't say that. Nobody else could because I was the only one who knew besides poor Anderson. I love you, Susan. I could keep my mouth shut for you.
You're the most hateful creature I've ever met in my life. Only a mind as low as yours could have thought of a thing so outrageous. I can't stand you.
I'll give you till tomorrow at this time. Think it over, honey.
Listen, Westfall.
Shut up. Someone's coming.
Just be patient, Palmer. You and I are in the same situation.
That's how you see it, amigo. You know, I've been sentenced to be hanged. On the other hand, everyone in this town believes you're innocent. I warn you, before I hang, I'll do everything in my power to see to it that you keep me company. Don't you forget it.
The minute I'm free, I'll see that you get out of here. I always pay my debts.
Yeah, the way you got up on your hind legs at the trial and told everyone how you hired me to kill the sheriff, huh?
Shut up. What's the matter with you? You'll have to trust me. I'll get you out of here. Judge Glenn will make Walker release me, I'm telling you. He hasn't any evidence against me.
Only if they kill that man will they get you out. And killing him's not gonna be easy, don't forget.
Hello, Susan.
Where's my father?
What do you want?
Nothing. I'd like to speak to him.
He's inside. You can go home, Charlie. Tomorrow you'll be in charge when they hang Palmer. I'll guard the other one.
And Pedro?
He stepped over to the saloon. He'll be back soon.
Now, don't you worry, Susan. There won't even be a trial.
But why? It would establish your innocence, at least.
I refuse to face a trial.
If you're innocent, you have nothing to fear, Papa. I reckon you can't see how much it means to me, but you owe it to me to establish the truth.
Have you fallen in love with Jeff?
Listen. As your daughter, it's my duty to defend you. But will you swear to me you're innocent? Swear to me.
Yes? Who's there?
It's me, Chet. Come on, let me in, bookworm.
What do you want?
You afraid? I swear just now I have no intention of killing you. Huh. My intentions are altogether peaceful, brother. Come on, you can put that rifle away. I'm proposing a solution to you.
Hurry up, Chet. Let's hear what it is. Where's Brad?
He's got around to your way of looking at it.
And you?
First of all, I want you to tell me exactly what your plans are. From what I gather, your jailbird's got about the whole town in his pocket, including the law court. No one lifts a finger unless he says to. But you, Brad, and I met this solid citizen in another place. If you still doubt it, I propose a test to prove it.
What is it?
We could take him back with us and show him to Ma. Let her tell us if he's the one.
No. I don't want Ma mixed up in this business.
Well, if that's how you want it... Ah! Wake up. We're going to take a little walk.
Up with your hands.
Keep moving.
Where are you taking him?
To show him to my mother. I swore I would. Don't try to stop me, Pedro.
I shouldn't allow you to do this, you know. But I think your mother will enjoy it. Take him along with you and show him to her. Go on, take him away.
Keep quiet and walk. If you try to escape, you'll die that much sooner, I promise you. Go on.
Keep moving.
A nasty blow, Jeff. A little bit harder and you wouldn't be here to tell us.
There's no doubt you've been mighty lucky.
I know what you're thinking, Grayson. That I made a deal with my brother so he could take the prisoner. That right, Grayson?
Isn't that how it was?
Don't make a fool of yourself. I can testify that Chet took him away by force. And if anyone doesn't think so, I'm right here to change his opinion.
You know where they went. Tell me.
Do you believe me?
Yes.
Follow the trail back to your aunt's. Chet took him to your mother.
Brad, come with me. Charlie, saddle the horses and round up anyone willing to ride with us.
Your brother has a good head start.
I'll catch up with him, don't worry.
Jeff, we're ready to move.
Well, goodbye, Susan. I'll try to bring your father back, but the situation won't be changed. I know how much I've hurt you, but I couldn't avoid it.
I know, Jeff, I know. I don't harbor any ill will. I'm convinced you know what you're doing. Whichever way it turns out, I'll always be here waiting for you.
Keep moving, Westfall.
I'm thirsty. I can't ride any further.
If I give you a drink, it's to get you there alive.
Camp here for the night.
Get on your horse.
On your horses.
You heard me.
Look at his face. Is he the one?
Yes.
Jet! Oh, no! Oh, no! Jet! Forgive me, son. Please forgive me. My poor boy. What have I done? May God forgive me.